Hey soul surfers, welcome back to the channel. It is a gorgeous day here in Wisconsin, so we are filming outside, and I'm gonna keep my sunglasses on because otherwise I'll be squinting the whole time. Today we're gonna keep rolling with our Law of Assumption series, and we're gonna talk about some Law of Assumption lingo. These are very common terms and acronyms that you'll hear in the Law of Assumption community or even in my videos in this series. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive on into this Law of Assumption lingo. We're gonna start off with 3D. And 3D, what the 3D means is it's the third dimension. It's that reality where you can use your five senses. So you taste, touch, smell, that's your 3D reality. Everything that you see before you right now that you're experiencing currently. Next, we have the 4D, which is the fourth dimension. That is used to describe your imagination, which is actually your reality, because remember, your 3D reality is just your thoughts and imagination pushed out into the physical experience here. So the 4D is where all the creation happens. That's why creation is done as soon as we desire it, as soon as we think about it. And that's why as we continue to live in the 4D or live in our imagination, our subconscious tries to push that out into our 3D reality, because that's the way this works. So even though the 3D appears to be real, your imagination is where it's really happening. So party in your 4D, okay? That's where all the magic is. The next term is SC, which stands for self-concept. Self-concept is the most important part of this journey or the Law of Assumption. And really what self-concept is how you view yourself in different areas of life. It's how you view yourself in relation to that area, in relation to certain people, how you see people that are going to be in relation to you. You can have different self-concepts in different areas. So for example, you can have a fantastic self-concept in work and finances, but not such a great self-concept in love and romance. It really all depends what you've experienced in your childhood early on when you receive that programming and those subconscious beliefs. But you can have a different self-concept in different areas of life. So when you're focusing on self-concept, you'll want to focus on your beliefs about yourself in relation to that area and in relation to the people that would show up in that area of your life as well. And the reason self-concept is so important is because everything is you. And we'll talk about that in a later acronym in a little bit more depth. But essentially, everything is created by you. Everything in your reality has come from your thoughts, your imagination. Everything is responding to you and you only. It's your reality. So that's why they say there's no one to change but self. And when they say that, that's because it's all about your self-concept. That is what is the key to what you're experiencing. So when you change your self-concept, you change your experiences. The next one is EIYPO, which is everyone is you pushed out. Like I mentioned before, everything, everyone, it's all you. The only thing people can do in your reality is reflect your dominant beliefs about yourself and also your dominant beliefs about them and how they show up in your life in relation to a specific area. So it's all about the story that you tell about them as well as what you tell about yourself in relation to that area. So they are reflecting your dominant thoughts, your dominant beliefs. So when you get triggered by the person in your reality, it's not usually the person because they're just reflecting your beliefs. It's your belief and your thought that is triggering you, and it usually stems back from childhood. So it's very important to use people in your reality and your triggers to identify and get curious about different belief systems that you have so that you can flip those beliefs and experience a shift in your reality. And this is why you're the only one with free will in your reality, because everybody else, the only thing they can do is reflect back your dominant thoughts and assumptions. That's the only thing they are capable of doing in your reality. Everyone is always responding to what's going on with you internally. The next one is SP, which stands for specific person. So really everyone in your reality is a specific person, but a lot of times when people are talking about a specific person, they have a specific person in mind that they're trying to manifest into their reality, somebody they've seen or come in contact with. But an SP really is anybody, because it's somebody who is embodying the traits of whatever it is you're trying to manifest. So like a boss can be an SP, a romantic partner can be an SP, But oftentimes people use SP for a specific person in terms of they actually know the person that they are trying to call into their experience, whether or not they've met them, but they know like what they look like. They might even know their name, things like that. The next one is BBL, which stands for Birds Before Land. What Birds Before Land is it's signs that your thinking is changing. So you'll start seeing signs. You might see, if there's something specific you're manifesting, you might start to see it around you in your reality. For example, if you're trying to manifest a car, a specific type of car, you may see that car everywhere in the specific color, maybe the make or model. That is a Birds Before Land because it's in your awareness. Your subconscious is trying to push it out. It means you're on track with your manifestation, and it means to keep persisting. Another type of Birds Before Land is when people around you start to receive the manifestation that you're consciously trying to manifest in. So that's really an opportunity to say, hey, this is available to me, this is an option for me, versus being jealous or downhearted that somebody else has what you have, because it's your subconscious showing you that is possible for you. So give it good meaning. And the reason this term Birds Before Land came about is because sailors knew they were close to land because birds could only fly so far away from land. So as they were sailing and on their voyage, on their journey, they knew they were getting close to their destination because they started to see birds in the air, which meant there must be land nearby. So Birds Before Land are those things that are showing you that it's getting close and just to keep going on the journey. The next term is SATS or SATS, which stands for State Akin to Sleep. State akin to sleep is the altered brain state, which is where your subconscious is most accessible. You're automatically in a SAT state right before sleep, like within an hour before bed, also right when you wake up. But you can also access these altered brain states through things like meditation. And the reason the state akin to sleep is so powerful and a powerful time to visualize and affirm is because that is when your conscious mind is at rest and your subconscious is directly accessible. So the recommendation is to visualize and affirm when you are in a state akin to sleep. Although it is always important to keep track of your thoughts throughout the day as well when you're not in that altered brain state. Also means to be mindful of what you are consuming and what you are thinking and doing when you're in this altered brain state. So that's why it's super important to be mindful about what you're watching before you go to sleep or even right away when you wake up in the morning. The next term is mental diet. What the mental diet is consistently thinking thoughts that are in alignment with what it is that you're calling into your experience. Making sure that your thoughts are what you want them to be, focused on what you want to experience and not focused on what you don't want to experience. So just like you want to feed your body certain ways, you also want to make sure your mind is consuming things that are serving you and serving your thoughts and serving your manifestations instead of focusing on things that you don't want. The mental diet is a very, very important part of this process because remember, it's your dominant thoughts and assumptions that create your experience. The next term is operant power. So you are the operant power of your reality. You are the only one who can create and manifest in your reality. That's why competition is an illusion, because really, since everyone is you pushed out, you're really only competing with yourself if you view other people as competition. But that's a topic for another day. So remember, you are the operant power. You are the only person who has the ability to manifest in your reality, unless you unintentionally give that power to other people. But in the truth of law of assumption and the way this all works, you're giving them that power, so you're still the operant power. So be mindful of the things that you're thinking and doing, because your thoughts, your mind, that is creating your experience. Next up, we have feeling it real. Now, feeling it real gets confused a lot because the people think that feeling it real means emotion. The wind took that one away. Okay, so feeling it real. People think that feeling it real means you have to experience some deep emotion and have an emotion in order to manifest. But that's not true. What feeling it real really means is you think in your mind and live in a scene as if it's already happening. You're feeling it real with your senses. So when you visualize, when you're thinking with your thoughts and things like that, you're feeling and bringing in as many of the 5 senses as you can into that visualization and into that story. Now, some people feel they are challenged with visualizing. You don't have to visualize to manifest. I mean, think about it. You probably didn't visualize everything that you're experiencing now. It's the thoughts. But when you think the thoughts create an image in your mind. So if you're practicing visualizing and you want to visualize and work that muscle, you can actually talk yourself through whatever visualization you're doing. So for example, let's say that I was at home right now and I wanted to visualize myself here, but I said that I don't know how to visualize. What I would do is talk myself through it. I see the green grass. I feel the gentle touch of the wind. I can smell the flowers blooming. Bring as many of the five senses in as you can. And as you talk yourself through it, you'll actually create an image in your mind. It's really powerful. Give it a try if you feel like you can't visualize. But you can also start affirming that visualizing is easy and it will become easier. Because remember, what we think and what we say, that's what we experience. Next up is living in the end. Living in the end is choosing an end scene which would imply your desire has manifested already. So, for example, if you're calling in love and romance and you want to be married to somebody, visualize yourself in a scene after the marriage, maybe on like a 5-year wedding anniversary on a vacation. And just put yourself in that scene with that person, and you can hear that person telling you, I'm so happy that we've been together 5 years. Our relationship has been so happy and joyful, and whatever it is you wanted to experience with that person, you get to fill in all of those details. But pick a time after the event so that it implies that what you have has already happened. The thing is that some people try to manifest in steps, and that's completely okay, because sometimes we're not ready to fully step into our operant power mentality right away because we are not sure and we doubt that power. So you can manifest in small steps if you'd like. However, that's a form of controlling the outcome and controlling how things happen, because all we need to do is keep our vision on what we ultimately want to experience, and the rest doesn't matter. What's in the middle doesn't matter. The how doesn't matter, because there's infinite ways of how it can unfold. So if we start to manifest in steps, we're starting to control the how. So just focus on your desire, living in the end, choosing that end scene to visualize, script, journal, affirm, whatever manifestation technique feels natural to you and like you want to do it. And you'll start to see things unfold, and maybe even in ways you didn't even think they would. Let your higher self or your subconscious mind find the best and fastest way to get you to that end state. And again, if you want to manifest in steps, that's okay too. But sometimes that can delay us getting to our full manifestation because we're trying to kind of micromanage everything along the way. Next is the bridge of incidents. So when I was just talking about living in the end, the how and the in-between is what is called the bridge of incidents. So you'll start to experience things along the way that happen in order for your manifestation to come to you. And sometimes this doesn't feel the best. This is why they say to ignore the 3D reality or to just give everything good meaning, because everything that's happening is always happening to get you towards your manifestation or to show you what's in the way of you and your manifestation, what's not in alignment with you having that thing or experiencing that thing in this exact moment. So the bridge of incidents is all the little things that happen along the way to bring your manifestation to you. And a lot of times you don't even realize it's a bridge of incidents until after you experience your manifestation and you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, that had to happen that way. And it all makes sense then. Next up is 3P or third party. And third parties can be anything from another person to work to addiction, anything that you view as a circumstance to you not having your manifestation. Most often, third party is used in the context of people manifesting specific persons. So again, it could be another person, it could be work, but it's anything that is basically telling the person they have a dominant belief that they are not a priority, are not chosen, and do not come first. But again, third parties are just circumstances, and circumstances do not matter when it comes to manifesting and getting what you desire. And finally, we have persist. This is one of the most important concepts, besides self-concept, out of this whole video, because you have to keep persisting. Even when things feel like they're going wrong, even when things feel like they're challenging, even when you feel like you're never going to get your manifestation, you just keep going. This is a journey. A lot of times once we come into conscious manifesting and learning about conscious manifesting, there's some deep desire that we have, and the thing that we most want to experience, we tend to have the largest amount of resistance to and limited beliefs about. Not that I want to affirm that, but that's what I've observed and experienced. Just affirm that there is no resistance, affirm that everything is easy to manifest, because in truth, everything is just as easy to manifest as everything else. But oftentimes, as we're trying to reprogram our subconscious thinking from childhood, and we've been thinking thoughts and running this programming sometimes for decades, we have to persist to change that programming. It does not happen overnight. It just takes consistency and persistence, and you can do it. Persisting is all about having faith, knowing that other people have done this, knowing that it works because you're always manifesting. It's always worked for you. Now it's time for it to work in your favor. So don't you dare give up on yourself, okay? You keep persisting until you get exactly what you want. All right, soul surfers, were there any terms in here that you were surprised to learn or didn't know before that are really gonna help you on your manifestation journey? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know what other kinds of videos you wanna see in this series specifically, and I'll try to get to those first. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you all in the next video.